Good afternoon from NYChessKids. My name is Saudin. In this lesson, we're going to study the game number one, David Janowsky versus Frank James Marshall. In your city, downtown, you have a Marshall Chess Club, so he's probably the one who started that chess club, and it is still in existence. Many kids are playing in a Marshall Chess Club. So now this game is not really a Slav defense, but the reason I choose this game is because I wanted to show you that you have another option to transfer from Slav to defense to a Dutch defense or a stone wall, right? So if you like that, that's also a possibility, if you want to surprise your opponents. So let's see, d4, pawn to d5, c4, c6. So the game started as a Slav defense. But after this move f5, it's not anymore Slav defense. It is a Dutch defense that's called Stonewall. So basically those pawns, e6, you see the pawns here, f5, e6, d5, and c6, that's a Stonewall. There are many children who are playing this kind of position with a white side. And I noticed it's actually quite successful for those kids because they set up the stone wall and then they start attacking with the white side. But of course, this position is invented with the black side. So we have to study this from a black side as well. And you will see after this game, the attack on the king side can be really powerful, right? So let's see now what is the advantage of this stone wall. It's clear that those four pawns here in the center, right, are very strong, stable. They protect each other. They are controlling the center, right? But at the same time, there is a little bit problem with this space on e5 because those pawns allow the knight to jump to e5. And there's a problem with the bishop on c8, right? This bishop cannot get into the game, right? Now you'll see there is an option for black to play and then transfer the bishop to h5, right? So that's an opportunity. But right now this bishop is out of the game. Let's see what happened here. e3, bishop to d6, f4. So white is protecting the knight on e5, and black makes a castling. c5. Now, I didn't mention that white also has a problem here. Now, look at this. White set up now the same similar position of the stone wall. So both sides actually have stone wall position. So white also has a problem with the bishop on c1. Bishop d2, bishop to d7, and that's what we were talking about. Black is trying to bring this bishop to the other side because the bishop was bad on c8, so he's trying to bring the bishop to the other side, to h5. Pawn to b4, and black jumps with his knight to the center. So both players have a knight in the center, and now white decided to remove the knight on e4. So he takes, and black, of course, takes with a pawn f because black will need this rook to be opened, right? So much better to take with this pawn than with a d pawn, right? So bishop e2 and trade. I think white should take right now with a d pawn, although even that probably gives black quite good game. But white takes with a pawn on f and allows a black very powerful attack on the king side. So queen goes to h4. If the white would have a castling, then taking with a f pawn would be the right option. But right now, there is a very powerful, strong attack, and this attack actually cannot be stopped right now because this rook is so powerful on f file. It's controlling completely the f file, and the opportunities for checkmate are very high here. So white has to be very, very careful here. Maybe it's not even possible to save the game at this moment anymore. Queen goes to h3. Black is trying to get to g2 and attack the rook and also threaten the checkmate on f2. Bishop f1 and queen f5. So queen wants to go to f2 to make a checkmate. White plays queen e2. And finally, we have this bishop on e8 coming into the game. And after bishop to h5, the game is really finished, right? The white doesn't have good opportunities anymore. What went wrong for white is that his king is on e1 in the center of the board. He did not make a castling, and he allowed this rook, queen, and the bishop to get into the game and attack very, very quickly on those open files and open diagonals. Now, queen moved to g2, bishop f3. Right, of course, powerful move. It's a pin, and the rook on h1 is lost, right? And after queen f2 check, queen f1, and black is winning the game because black captures so many of the pieces and there is no chance to save this game anymore. So let's go back because I found this game to be interesting. There are so many games in Slav defense, but when I was looking through the games to show you, for some reason, this game attracted me. I know this is not the highest quality game. It's not the best for sure. But one thing that I like about is that we have this other option here. Like when we play Slav defense, we can transfer the game also into this stone wall. Now, why do I like that? It is because, I'm looking at a lot of games that kids are playing on the chess tournaments, and I know for sure they cannot handle this kind of position. Like the children who are playing this, like when they play knight c3, they will be very surprised if you play move like f5 because they are not used to it. They are expecting the move knight to f6. Probably also the teachers are not even mentioning moves like this, right? So many kids are waiting for knight f6 and regular Slav defense that we will study in other games and that I also explained you in the theory. But this move is transferring the game to other opening. And the question is now, if the kids who are playing against you, do they know something like this? Did they ever even see a move like this stone wall, right? So that's why I found this to be very interesting. Maybe you could study this a little bit. Maybe you can check it out. Play some practice games on Chess or in the after school programs and see how the kids are reacting to this. Do they know what they are doing, or they are completely surprised with a move like f5? And now let's see what was the most important about this position. I don't like this move c5 also. It's blocking the game, and I think it's better to keep some tension here for white, right? Because this doesn't make any sense to me. Now bishop c7, and you see the black is like this is the kind of move we need to learn. What is the reason that black is bringing the bishop to d7? He wants to activate the bishop, goes to e8 and h5, because this pawn chain that you have here is creating problems for the white bishop. The same on the white side. Look, this bishop on d2 is not in a good place. white needed to play here castling. So instead of pawn to b4, right? Because this attack was not really good. b4, probably white wanted to play b5, right? But better to make a castle. You cannot keep this king on e1 in the center of the board. Run away. And then maybe later you can play b4. But right now, castling is a must in this position. Keep your king safe, right? But see, that's what I didn't do. I don't think this idea of capturing the knight on e4 was a good idea. Maybe castling is much better, right? You play a castling and you are fine, right? But white allowed this attack. You see, he simply allowed this attack. Now he has to capture with this pawn because he cannot open the f file. You see, what we are learning from those classical games is as we learn about the ideas. Look at this. He takes with this pawn very wrong because suddenly this rook is open and queen gets into the attack, right? He needed to keep the line closed by capturing here with a d pawn. That was the only chance to keep this game going, right? But after this move, this was a big mistake. Now black gets into the attack, and it seems so that this attack cannot be stopped anymore, right? Look at this powerful attack, open file, and the bishop gets into the game, right? Let's see the end of the game. Takes on h1, queen f2, and takes the bishop. Okay, that's the game. So boys and girls, please consider this interesting idea of the stone wall, f5 and e6, and try. If you like it, maybe it's going to work on the chess tournaments. I hope you enjoyed the game, and we'll see each other again soon. Bye-bye.